God damn it. I don't even have my goddamn mic on.
Awesome.
Hey.
Look at mine right here.
Take me away from home. Show me all the places I've never known.
I can run the air a little bit so it doesn't get all
Whatever.
steamy in here. Not the AC yet though. So in the fact that I bought this car to do fun things with,
Right.
I went and did fun things with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I am into like performance driving and stuff like that, like becoming a better, more skilled driver.
Right.
As you get to know me better, you're gonna find, or as you probably already know to a degree, things I'm interested in, I do that.
That's the
Like
thing.
I want to get good at it. I want to get
Right.
good at shooting. I want to get good at driving. I suck at video games, but I want to get better. And so I had the opportunity to go to an autocross event at a racetrack called Road America, which is at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, between Fond du Lac and Sheboygan.
I know where it is. I've never been, but
Oh, it's a
Somewhat.
beautiful track.
familiar with the concept of it.
We weren't racing on the track. We did eventually get to drive on it,
Mhm.
but we weren't allowed to pass each other.
Sure.
But I'll get to that. The autocross event was taking place in like some of the parking lots and stuff they had there, because autocross is like diving between cones.
Right.
It's much tighter and more technical.
Yeah. Which I think, again, with the style of driving that I find to be fun, probably what I would prefer.
Oh yeah. So it was the day I was driving down there, and got up. I was like, I gotta go get a haircut first, because I'm gonna be putting on a helmet and I'm gonna be all hot and sweaty anyways,
Right.
and I might as well. I got a mop of hair in my head. I might as well trim it down. So went to go get a haircut. Hour wait. I'm like, I don't have that kind of time.
Huh.
So I went over to River Falls, hung out with my buddy Matt for a bit, and talked with him about some stuff. And I was like, oh, hey, can I get a haircut here? And it's like, well, we just have a cost cutters. And I'm like, all right, I have higher standards than that. I'll sort it out when I drive through Green Bay.
Sure.
So on the way to Green Bay, I look up a haircut place. And I was like, I have this thing where if I'm going somewhere, I want to go someplace local for whatever it is.
Sure.
Which I'll actually get to in a bit.
Support local shops.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, found this place in downtown Green Bay. Doesn't exist anymore. I'm like, all right, I'm running out of time. So I just like, oh, hey, Sport Clips is nearby, or what the hell it's called. The place where their taglines, it's good to be a guy.
Oh, yeah. Stupid. In my opinion.
Something about that tagline rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
But,
Phrasing.
well, I guess maybe the right way then. So, managed to get there. And I have like a 20-minute wait, and I have enough time for that. So I'm like, okay, cool, finally, I'm getting my goddamn haircut.
Sure.
There's this gaggle of 17, 18-year-old boys, like high school kids, sitting next to me, and they're trying to figure out where they want to go to eat.
Okay.
And I'm kind of like, I'm paying attention.
Right.
And one of them,
You can't help.
yeah, one of them notices that I'm sitting right next to him, like one seat between us.
Right.
The courtesy seat.
Right. The courtesy seat that could just be removed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of them asked me, oh, well, what's this guy think? And I'm like, I think I opened up with, all right, you've gotten yourselves into it now, or something like that, because I like to talk, as we both have figured out.
No. No.
So I told them, all right, here's my ethos on this. And I'm a guy that uses the term ethos. So it was one of their friends' birthdays. And they were debating between going to Five Guys or to like this a little bit pricier, but like local, like proper restaurant.
Sure.
And so I told them, one of the things I've come to think in my life is I value the experience at a sit-down restaurant a hell of a lot more than just at Five Guys. Not that I haven't had a good time, like just at like a McDonald's or something, hanging out.
Yep.
But
If it's an event,
Yes.
so this is my 2 cents. If it's an event, I like for it to be a memorable thing, not just another, hey, I grabbed some food and now we're hanging out and eating. And also, don't get me wrong, I love me a burger joint. It's one of my favorite things. It's a classic American burger joint. Fries and milkshake. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of partial to Five Guys in general. But if there's an event, and also especially there's just like something, if I'm gonna pay for food, I also love it when I just get to sit down and somebody brings me my food. And part of that is like, when I've got a good buddy, Joe. Joe works in a kitchen, and I was talking to him. We both love to cook. And I was saying, so Joe, what is one of your favorite things to make? And he said, after a long, hard day in the kitchen, my favorite thing to make is reservations. And there's something to be said about that. You know, just going, if it's not going to be that much more expensive, and then you get to just sit there, hang out, not worry about it, be comfortable usually. Because like a Five Guys is comfortable enough. They've got chairs and tables and stuff. But when you go to a restaurant, you get a booth, and it's like a vacation.
Oh yeah,
for
like
your ass.
that.
Yeah.
The other thing I thought about I gave to them was, you can find a Five Guys anywhere.
Yeah.
This Green Bay specific restaurant, you're only going to have so many times where you're going to go there.
Right.
I find it totally worth the extra few dollars to have that more rewarding experience, because there's a pacing to going out at a restaurant.
Go left here.
It's like you take your order and you get to sit and you get to talk about stuff, and maybe you experiment with different foods or something like that. But it forces you to actually like be there for a set amount of time. It's set amount of time to socialize.
Yep.
So put down your goddamn phone or something I'll get to later and do it. But fast food, it's still all, even if you're not in a rush, it's structured to be fast.
Yeah.
Like it's structured to.
It comes back to, especially in America, we've gotten away from dining and gone more towards just consuming, which has its place. I do think that that's true, and it's good to have places that are efficient and fast. But again, when it's an event, like you said, it was this dude's birthday. If you're gonna go, if like that's the plan, if that's your plan, then go and dine and sit and socialize and be there and have fun.
Yeah. So I gave them all this rousing speech on this. On you're only gonna have so much opportunities to have quality time together. It's worth it to do it. And they're like, well, we're all going. We're stuck going there now.
Yep, can't not.
And then they asked me. They just started asking me about me. Like, oh, so like, you know, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Red Wing, Minnesota. And I described it as like I'm southeast of the Twin Cities by a little bit. And they're like, what the hell are you doing over here? And I'm like, well, I'm actually taking me and my new little sports car, new to me little sports car, to a racetrack. And like, oh, are you going? They immediately go, oh, are you going drifting? And I'm like, like, it's just kind of the thing. Like,
drifting is the cool.
Drifting, it's the new kid on the block. So all the kids are into it. I'm into it too. I want to learn how to drift. I want to learn to drift this car.
Yeah.
But just that being the immediate jump was just kind of like, not on purpose.
Right.
I gave them a brief description of what autocross was. And like, oh no, that's cool. And they started getting really interested in just like listening to me. So of course I'm going to keep talking.
Right.
They asked me about stuff, and I told them, all right, here, let me give you some life advice. To the extent that I have. I asked them to guess my age. None of them got me right. They all guessed younger than I am.
27.
I'm 24. And they
said they guessed younger, so I went with more.
Okay. So I tried to give them like bits and pieces of experience I've had, like the fact that I've crashed this car, or I killed the engine in my other car, or stayed in bad relationship stuff. I just kind of like added on to. I gave them the short bits, the
had
points.
No idea what they were getting into.
They had no fucking clue, but they were fucking glued to it.
That's awesome.
And they were readily entertained, and I
if any of you guys who were there were listening, Write us a YouTube comment.
I would be so ecstatic.
Just do it.
If one of them somehow
or video response.
One of the things I want to do
it.
to help like propagate myself and advertise is, I thought about doing this. I originally did this years ago for when I was doing the free running thing, as I made up little cards for Red Wing Parkour,
nice,
which is my little group, and I like handed them out to people and had like little resources printed, like websites on them for stuff.
Mount cannons that launch business cards on the back of this.
Oh yeah,
with
totally.
like a controls panel right here.
But another YouTuber I follow has 500,000 subscribers, Walterific. He hands out spam cards, and I thought of doing the same thing before I discovered his videos, so I'm not copying him, but his success is an inspiration.
As far as copying, not doing something because somebody successful is already doing it is the dumbest misconception in the entire...
If it works, do it.
Marketing, yeah. And that's why companies like Walmart and McDonald's are so successful, and I'm not advocating that everybody should be the Walmart and the McDonald's.
Oh God.
Not really my style. But they're making money and they're doing things well enough that they're popular.
Yeah.
So if to jumpstart to be popular, and I would argue, and then also try and maintain your ethics. And
yes, very, very ethically driven.
Because driven. Anyway.
As I shut my eyes.
You can. My eyes have been shut this whole time. You can. That's why I wanted to stop so I can get my sunglasses. But it'll help you. You can look at people who are doing this stuff like that, and handing out spam cards and doing social media and looking and studying how they do that. That will help. Like, I hear people do that. Like, oh, well, this YouTube channel does this, or they have a cool pre-roll like this that I really like, but I don't want to copy them. Like,
just fucking do it.
Do your own thing.
You can take inspiration from it.
Absolutely. Do something you can do something very similar, just do it your way, and it'll be cool. People will like it. And even probably that person will go, that's cool.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Yep.
Or they'll be
offended and be an asshole and fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Not literally, it's too much of a reward.
I mean,
unless you're hate fucking. Anyways, so the point was, like, I don't have any of those cards yet. Otherwise, I totally would have given them to these kids.
With an older, more disgusting avocado. And they were hate fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Relationship was bad.
So I was really entertaining these kids. And the end lesson was... The one thing I told them, I said, the one thing I want you to take away from me, and all these conversations and all that is, you're going to be dumb. You're young, you're hormonal, you think you're invincible, you want to do things for the story.
Wait, we're not invincible?
Apparently. You're gonna be dumb.
Some guy in a barbershop told me.
You're gonna be dumb, so be smart about it.
Sure.
So I told them, I gave them the example of, I'm going to a racetrack and stuff. I want to be dumb by driving my car aggressively. I'm being smart about it by going to a contained environment where there's people with cell phones ready to call the local emergency services that know this is occurring.
Right.
And at bigger events, the emergency services are already staged there.
Yeah.
So I told them, if you're going to want to go 100 miles an hour in your car. So the smart thing to do is...
Everybody wants to go 100 miles an hour in a car.
Find a racetrack to do that. Now, you're poor and you're impulsive, so you're going to not have the patience for that. But do it in a manner where you have, like this road here, you have a nice wide open expanse. You have a sight line for half a mile to a mile away.
Right. Not that we would ever advocate breaking the law.
Yeah, no, don't break the law. In the past fucking year, I've matured with my driving and stuff.
That's probably good.
It helps that now I'm in a good position where I can afford to take some time and go to a track
do
and
that
stuff.
And get that.
And do it right and do it safely.
Manage your urges. Would you say you're trying to manage your urges? Sure.
I'm going through puberty and learning all sorts of new things about myself. So, yeah, I told them, work to get to the place where you're in a position like me, where you want to do these things and you can do them right.
Yeah.
And they Whether I got to them
they
or
won't
not,
listen.
I mean, I told them, like...
I'd love to say we lived in a world where they would listen. I think maybe one or two of them may have gotten it in their head.
The thing
and they may have all gotten something.
Because the way I approach it, I
Yeah.
kind of approach it as I'm not your superior, I'm your peer.
Hopefully.
Because I'm young and youthful and super excited about what I'm doing tomorrow, and
Right.
they're just super excited about life because they're 18 and hormonal.
Right.
I told them that. I called them on it, that you're going to not want to listen to people older than you. But I have validity behind my statements. I haven't lived a lot, but I've lived enough to have fucked up and had to learn the lessons from it. And yes, it is so much better to learn someone else's lessons than learn your own.
I have a whole segment on my podcast where I talk about why I almost wasn't here and all the lessons that I learned not to do because my dad did them for me and then told me about them.
Yeah.
So don't ride in a shopping cart being dragged behind your buddy's bike.
Jesus.
Just saying, throwing that out there.
I vaguely remember that one.
He broke these 3 fingers.
So... Just ignore them. They're
Just
a young
ignore them.
couple.
They're just young children.
Someday
We are superior to them.
graduate into
You know, I didn't think at this point in my life I'd be saying, I'm stuck behind a Maserati